Far beyond witches and wizards is the root cause of health problem of many in Africa. Seek professional advice concerning that your health matter.
I see with my clear eye. The eye that I cannot be able to use 2 years ago, I use it now to see everything. And I say, may God who make this man have this mind, and all those doctors over here, God will bless them and give them more life.
Join Dr. Save a Life Foundation.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye. Now on AIT every Monday by 9:30 a.m.
Hello, my pleasure to welcome you to You and Your Health, a program sponsored by Dr. Save a Life Foundation, with a clear vision of giving total health to the people of Africa through the power of knowledge. As a matter of fact, I want you just to be in position to pick your jotter and begin to write down certain things you will use to save other people. All right, today we're going to continue on the series we have been on that has to do with prevention of maternal and infant mortality, which has a horrible statistics in this side of the world. It ought not to be so. And on that very accord, we are identifying some of the things, perhaps because of our religious or traditional misconception or narrative, brought us into such level of loss that a woman could be able to carry a baby for 9 months of labor. At the point of delivery, this very gift of God, as a matter of fact, the Bible said, that make it rich and add no sorrow to it. Childbearing has become sorrow upon sorrow on a daily basis for some couples, which I will be able to explain to you today. And on that particular accord, I want you to use this opportunity. Call your friends. Come on, you will do something today. Pick your phone, call your friend, your loved ones, wherever they are, in the villages. Tell them to tune into this station right now. I tell you, you have done wonderful things for your family, for your friend, and for this nation at large. As we explore neonatal mortality and also maternal mortality, what killed the children? Even those that did not die, what is their future after delivery? These and many more we will share today. Do that, I'll be right back.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye. Now on AIT every Monday by 9:30 a.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health. And today is gonna be completely a different ballgame, because we're going to go beyond just the conventional things we do see to the ones that we do not usually imagine that they had happened, but may be seen later. Have you ever bothered you, or you feel concerned that you see a couple, perhaps intelligent, brilliant, on both parties, and all of a sudden they have a child, and that particular child become olodo.com. You ask him, my friend, 2 plus 2, he will tell you it's 22, and we fail without remorse. There are children like that. When they fail exam, they fail without remorse. What they are talking about, hey, Junior, or there you failed. It doesn't make sense to him. People don't know where such is coming from. You don't need to bind any demon. I will be here to show you where the demon actually emanated. Okay. Now, let us look at some of the things that could happen to a child or could happen to a newborn. Very okay throughout pregnancy, no problem. Just at the point of delivery, unfortunate thing happened. What are those things that could happen? You could recall our foundation on what could happen when there is a problem that a woman could not deliver as expected vaginally. And we were able to establish this. I do hope for most of you that are the students of this very program, by now you're supposed to have been able to know the different types of birth canal in women, otherwise called pelvic canal. All right. And we established there are types of pelvic, but the one that is common that a woman should have in most cases is the one they call gynecoid pelvis. That it has to have a room, very roomy, where the baby should be able to come out is huge, okay? And that is what is called gynecoid pelvis. You also have a one that you can find in men that is called android pelvic. It is a little bit contracted. If you look at it, you find out that the what they call pelvic floor angle here is shorter than and also this looks contracted. And in a situation like this, 20% of women had been found to have this type of pelvis. They are not abnormal, but genetically, as it were, they happen to find this type of pelvis that looks a little bit small. You get that? There are other types of pelvis, as we discussed last time, the one of anthropoid and also this of platyploid, but those ones are just for academic purpose. I want you to have a picture of it, that when a baby is to be delivered, the baby passes through here or passes through this one. But most cases, for those that don't have this type of pelvis, there could be what is called cephalopelvic disproportion. Cephalopelvic, that the head of this very baby may not be able to engage this particular or pass through freely. Like in the case of you may have such a scenario. But sometimes, doctor may observe there, knowing that this woman has a contracted pelvis or borderline pelvis, and we say, hey, madam, you will go for CS. And the woman will say, I reject it. It is not my portion. I have to deliver like a Hebrew woman. We got the other time that the woman that ruptured her womb and also lost her baby was receiving a call from maybe her religious leader telling her that it is not your portion, you will not go for CS. You must deliver like a Hebrew woman. Her own was too unfortunate that she lost her baby and also eventually ruptured her womb and they couldn't rescue her. She also passed on. But let us look at those that happen to be, yes, the mother okay, but the baby never be the same again. In this case, in a situation where there is what this cephalopelvic disproportion, issue of labor may not delay. Listen and listen good. Labor is expected, ideally, to last about 20 hours. Some school of thought ranges from 18 to 24 hours. Nevertheless, that within 20 hours, it's expected that this woman should deliver. But some people are saying, I've labored for 2 days. I've labored for 4 days. Who are they laboring for? Because somebody said, do not go for cesarean section. And maybe in the effort of that, they will not just continue push. Lucky enough, the baby will not come out. Whoa! He said, praise the Lord. As I went to hospital, the doctor said that I have to deliver by cesarean section. I rejected it. I said, I'm going to deliver like a Hebrew woman. And before they know it, the baby came out. Praise the Lord. Everybody will shout. And I'm standing here to tell you, majority of that testimony has not been completed. Majority of those testimony have not been completed. Have you ever seen the pain of some women and the couple, as it were, when they are carrying a baby that has cerebral palsy? The baby will not be able to stand. The baby will not be able to eat. The baby will not be able, and it becomes a life burden. That is contrary to God's intention. The children are the gifts of God, God's heritage. And the Bible says that the gift of God maketh rich and add no sorrow in it. If you find sorrow in it, something is wrong. And what is wrong? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. They will tell you witches, attack the enemy is the deception of our time. And by the grace of God, that story will meet its end in our generation.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
Welcome back. Now we go. What could happen to those babies that have stayed in labor for overtime. We're not talking to talk about the mother, because we're going to talk about what actually caused maternal mortality after this very phase, okay? But let us look at what could be the fate of a baby that have overstayed in labor. Don't forget that when a baby is in labor, the baby is struggling. Most time, even the cord, everything will be struggling. And most times, something could happen to that very baby because the womb is contracting against the baby and pushing the baby. Why? Maybe the baby is equally not making progress, meaning that somebody is pushing this baby against a wall that the baby could not be able to break through. If this very baby continue in that state of low pulse over time, that baby can die, and you find that the woman will finally deliver what is called fresh stillbirth. A stillbirth that happened at the point of delivery. Many people have carried their baby in that way and off they go. You know what? They won't come out to share testimony. They will blame doctors. They will blame one thing or those that knew what happened but they didn't want to tell. They will blame attack of the enemy. And for how long can we continue in this? How long can we be losing our babies, losing our mothers on things that are preventable? Now, furthermore, there could be a scenario where there could be a cord prolapse. The umbilical cord may be coming out. Umbilical cord gives blood to the baby, gives food to the baby, and gives oxygen in a situation where it is trapped. That very baby instantly will not be receiving blood and oxygen to the brain. That brain can die. I will tell you, cool, okay? Cool, I will tell you what happened. There's a tendency of such baby dying. On the other hand also, in a situation where this woman has burst her water, what is called premature rupture of membrane, or she has ruptured the membrane and the labor is not progressing. When the bag bursts, meaning that there's an opening between the outside and the baby, such baby may suffer what is called neonatal sepsis. Infection may go in, and majority of them hardly survive it. Those that survive, I will tell you what happened thereafter. In addition to that, they may decide to force the baby out against every manipulation. Most times you have what is called brachial plexus injury. It's a group of nerves ranging from C1 to C6 and also the issue of C8 to T1. You can have what is called S palsy. The hand of the baby may not drop. A lot of babies are like that as I'm talking to you today. Some also may have more paralysis when it has to do with clunky paralysis. That particular one will come up that it may affect more regions. And this very baby will come out and be like vegetable. The baby, how do you see a couple seeing their beautiful baby, but with one deformity that was not as God created? And just because somebody said to them, no, you must deliver like a Hebrew woman. How long can we continue in this deception? True knowledge shall the just one be delivered. And that is the purpose why we are here. I'm very optimistic that this low life expectancy in Nigeria, 55 years, is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And I tell you, watch out 2025. It will be a prophecy, if it we call it, that will come to pass in this country, where Nigerian life expectancy will move from 55 years to 70 years by 2025. These are the things. Majority of them die at this age, under 5. We are going to explain a lot of things that when people get to know, automatically, many of them will be saved. But I want to finally, in the area of this neonatal experience, explain to you why you have intelligent couple, and brilliant as it were, but then we have a child, and that very child will be so low in IQ. There happened to be a case of a young man called Jude. You know, Jude was so ET, as it were, that his level of IQ was so questionable that he keep on failing and keep on becoming last in the class. And in one occasion, because the principal and everybody already aware of the Jew situation, the governor planned to visit the school. And based on let the governor not encounter this young man, they asked Jude not to come to school. And Jude went home and said, Jude, tomorrow there's no school, don't come. Jude was there. And the next day, as usual, Jude went after some of his friends, at least to go and play with, since there was no school. And when he went to this place, he said they've gone to school. He went to the other place, they said he went to school. And lo and behold, Jude now started tracing them back to school. As he entered the school, the principal and the rest saw Jude. Their heart failed. Coincidentally, the governor came into the school. When the governor came into the school, and it was this same young man, Jude, that he met. And he said, hello, young man. How are you? Who wrote this fall apart? Immediately Jude said, not be me. It's not me. He started pointing at the others. Is it not that I just came to school? I you don't see me? Not be me. Don't be me right now. That was the beginning of the frustration of both the principal and the teachers, and of course an embarrassment to the school. Now we will look at this very, how come you see some brilliant, as it were, parents, but their own children become olodo.com. What could be responsible? That I will tell you as I'll be right back.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
I cannot believe it that this is the same me that came here with not having the hope of being on my feet again, that I can walk again like a normal human being. I want to thank Dr. Save a Life Foundation for this wonderful work. To God and to God only be the glory.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, you and Your Health, a program sponsored by Dr. Save a Life Foundation. I remain your friend, Dr. Richard Okoye. I do hope this very program has been a blessing to you. Don't forget that it's being sponsored by Dr. Save a Life Foundation, a non-governmental organization, clear vision that by the year 2025, the life expectancy of Nigerians will move from 55 years to 70 years. I encourage you to support it. Of course, you know that to run this program in this station and most of the outreach programs and the free feeding programs we do across the country, all financially demanded. But we are hopeful that that vision is real. I want to beckon on you. You can support, you can partner with Dr. Save a Life, even for your company, or even to be in position to train people on the issue that has to do with CPR and all the other things. And you can also support this very program. This account number is available. I appeal to you. Support this very program to remain on air. You can also give us an airtime in any station you have across the country. We have been able to come up with an app that is a medical doctor over there in the United States. And right now in the US, and we are hopeful to launch it any moment soon in the African continent. It is a full medical doctor that will give you the opportunity of having at least to have any of your health problem understand in the language of a doctor and your own language. Any medical emergency where there is no doctor, mother and the child care, and also the issue of drug directory to verify the drugs you are taking, and so much you can search about healthcare. It's gonna be a great revolution in healthcare, and interestingly, we are believing God that we're going to sow this very app free of charge to Nigerians. Other African countries can pay 50%, while Europe and America will pay the full amount. But what we are working, if you give somebody an information on what we are doing here, you can save a life. And we are looking at the issue of preventing maternal mortality, neonatal mortality, and in addition to that, to be able to build up intelligent children in our society. And the beginning of more children failure started from the iatrogenic problem. Iatrogenic in the sense that this is what happened based on not being able to do the right thing at the right time during the delivery. Now listen to this. When a baby is born, and that very baby did not cry at birth, and at the point they deliver this baby, the baby is flat, and is doing all kind of manipulation, slapping, turning upside down and all that. That was traditional. Now you can only stimulate with a little warm water at the back, the baby will cry. But it comes to a point where this very baby will be struggling for some minutes. The baby had not cried. The baby has not taken the first breath and all that. Do you know what? That particular baby has some minutes of some changes in him or her. Number one is that very cry you hear baby. You know what he's saying? That air that comes in expand the lungs and help to push oxygen to the brain. That is the principal thing the brain needs immediately after delivery. Because it's already been compromised by the struggling of coming out. So at the point, just like you hold your breath for a while, as soon as you leave your breath, you will need to breathe a little faster. That is what pumps oxygen to the brain. And within 3 minutes of no oxygen getting to the brain, there may be certain dose of damages in that brain. If it goes more than 10 minutes, there could be, beyond 10 minutes, there's nothing anybody may do. That will become vegetable. And that's why you see some people, very okay looking baby, not a problem or Down syndrome or related congenital abnormality, but just because of what happened at the point of delivery, you see this very baby will become, cerebral palsy will come in. The baby will not be able to go to school. The baby will not be able to eat. The baby will not stand on maintaining a milestone. When the baby is supposed to walk, when the baby is supposed to stand, when the baby is supposed to do it. All these things are timely in a child's day. And for that not to be done, something must have happened in the level of the brain that controls those activities. And that's why it is important. Listen to me. The decision you take on the course of delivering your baby could be the reason you have the kind of children you have today in terms of intelligence. Those babies need to cry. Otherwise, they will have such complications. And you see some of them, they may stay after a while, following resuscitation. That's why I keep encouraging. If you are to deliver, even if you have a maternity or traditional birth attendant, link up to a hospital where you have standby guiding pediatrician and also even anesthetics. In a situation where, in case of emergency, something can be done within that very time frame, golden time God has provided in turning around things for not to go to the worst side of life. And in that very case, you see a number of them, immediately they are delivered, not being able to breathe, they now have to be in position to start resuscitating. Otherwise, if you leave that very baby, you see your baby all of a sudden start going blue. You know what is blue? It's called cyanosis. That cyanosis means that there's no oxygen available for the baby. And that blue thing you are seeing, the brain is the one that will receive it most. Ignorance is the mother of personal destruction, a voluntary misfortune, and it is worse when you are ignorant of your ignorance. In a number of occasions also, we use because of the issue of, there's no money, or doctors want to keep you in the hospital, or keep your baby in the hospital, in order for reason of making money, and they will tell you, your baby has a thing of jaundice. In your own assessment, you say, no, there's nothing there. And you carry your baby to go. Listen and listen, go. Jaundice is one of the commonest cause of brain damage in children. In a situation where that jaundice go up, you know what? It will come to a point they call it kinetosis. If it comes to that very level, the brain will be shut down. And that's why you see some children that suffer the issue that has to do with jaundice at birth may be complicated because it's not giving the right attention. At the end of the day, you see those babies, they may not get to their full potential. They may not get to their full potential. And also, you look at the aspect that has to do with neonatal infection, because most of those long delivery, long labor, long time labor, delayed labor, obstructed labor, the tendency that the body will be open to the outside, infection will go in. And that very baby, you see the baby very ill at birth. When the baby is in a high level of infection, that very baby will not be generating enough oxygen for the brain. And in most cases, those babies will come out dull, not performing as they ought to perform. You make a choice. If you be in position to say, oh, Dr. Okoye is talking because he's a medical doctor, and Dr. Okoye does not believe in witches and wizards as you do, or not being in position to say that this other one, but there, check out those that didn't come and share testimony in the churches. Check out those ones that have a baby of cerebral palsy. Go and change their level of happiness in the gift of God that make it rich and add no sorrow. Go and check people when they see their children not being as expected. It's a pain you will never wish anybody. For you to be in position to tell a woman that is about to deliver, he said, no, don't. There are much more than you know that could be responsible for the issue of that decision. People say no. You know, doctors want to make more money. As one sent last time, you remember? If money is your problem, I have made it very clear here, if your problem is poverty dependent, tell God the truth. Don't use witches and wizards to confuse people. Because before your wife gets to delivery time, 9 months notice have been given to you. Not at the point of delivery, you want to take a stand or begin to accuse God or man on the basis of something that is preventable.